shall there be a pitiful case, which now have abused my ways, and they that have cast them away, despitefully shall dwell in torment.
Exactly, man. All you people, that, you know what I'm saying? You are out here, man. The scriptures always tell you how Moses always sent his prophets. Right? Whenever something dreadful was to happen, all right, because it tells you that in your prosperity, I've spoken unto you. I'm trying to remember the scripture.
What do you want to do? Yeah, you did. You push, keep going, and you get used to it.
It says, Jeremiah, I'll read this, 44 verse 4. Howbeit I sent unto you all my servants, the prophets, rising early, and ascended them, saying, oh, do not this abominable thing that I hate.
You know,
right?
If you got the scriptures in your mind, it's fine. The spirit that handles things to my.
You know what I'm saying? And there's another one, it says, Jeremiah 22 verse 21. I spake unto thee in thy prosperity, but thou saidest, I will not hear. So the Lord speaks to you in time of prosperity. Right now there's mirth, man. Right now, well, so-called mirth. I mean, it's dwindling down, but people are still call themselves going clubbing, still call themselves, you know what I'm saying, Friday night, Saturday night, you know what I'm saying, dressing up for the gal them.
And it's over and over again, brother.
You know, women dressing up, you know what I'm saying? It's all about that, man. You know? Everyone's just trying to put on that image, man. Trying to put on that facade, man. You know? Trying to pretend like everything's fantastic, but no, it's interested in everything like that. When they know deep down inside is dead, man. Alright? But that's when the Lord speaks unto the people. And really, obviously, his people. Alright? When the Most High sent his prophets, he says that during the time of prosperity, when people are mirthing it up. Why? Because it's almost like the Most High is testing the reins of the people to see who's in the house of mourning and who's in the house of feasting.
No one cares.
You see what I'm saying? No. See? You see that there? You see that? You see what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? No one cares. Yeah, and that's a spiritual, because I was just talking about it.
And they just came.
I was just talking about it. And all of a sudden, two demon spirits come and say, no one cares. Just to show you exactly what we're talking about. And this thing is real. Alright?
Not a joke.
That's why if you see most people, they don't listen, because the Most High is not dealing with them. Man.
And you know what too, you know what backs what you're saying is true, right? Because look what we got.
So you got the stormtroopers.
Well, I mean, they not stormtroopers,
Yeah.
but they about to go into the military. Because see, this war is getting ready to break out now. We've been talking about World War III.
She ain't gonna make it. She ain't gonna last one.
You know, so it's hey man, I mean that. And you're gonna have a lot of guys out there that don't want to be involved in this war. They're gonna have to put that uniform on and get the practicing, baby.
So that's basically what it is, man. Alright? No one cares. But in the time of their calamity, when their fear cometh as desolation, that's when the Lord's gonna get them. And get that in Proverbs chapter 1, verse 20. That's the brother I was going into before. Right? Right, man. The Lord speaks to you in your prosperity. Then it says what? But thou saidest, I would not hear. And what did them two little bitches say? No one cares. It says,
I got it right here, brother.
this have been thy manner from thy youth, that thou obeyest not my voice. Alright? But
Yeah, this is Proverbs 1. Verse 23, I'll start from it. It says, turn yet my reproof. Behold, I will pure my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. Because I have called and ye refuse, I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded.
so the Most High is reaching out his hand right now. Alright? Through the what do you call it? The seed. What do you call that? What's the name of that seed? The mustard seed. Right? Which is smallest among seed. Alright? And the people look at it as being weak. weaker, beggarly things that hold no weight or power in this earth, man. Alright, in this present time and age. That this truth don't bear no weight, man. Alright? And we look at, especially because we're seen as being what? A byword and a proverb, you know what I'm saying? Or offscoring of the people. Alright, what else? What's it? What's this word, man? When people look at us like
Disdain.
disdain. You know what I'm saying? We're a filth of the world, man.
Oh yeah, the offscore. Right.
Alright? Understand what I'm saying? We're a spectacle unto the nations. Then. We have to understand the Most High is going to judge them by the same word we're speaking, man. Alright? So if this, I was speaking to a sister yesterday. Because I have a sister, she been you know, you saw her, teacher at Brixton.
Oh, her, right.
Yeah, I was speaking to her yesterday on the phone. And I told her, listen, what you're in on is a very big thing. This is because she was telling me how there's a lot of people that know about this thing, man. She was telling me that a lot of people know about the Hebrew Israelites. And I'm saying, yeah, because if you check people like 8 years ago, no one really knew about it, man.
Yep. Because when I first came into the truth, man, I mean, like if you knew about the Israelites, it was only the select few that knew about it. But now everybody knows about it now.
Understand?
Yep. And it's gonna get to that point where when the shit breaks, when the shit hits the fan, and I'm talking about when this economy collapses, that's when people are gonna be looking for answers. Oh, you know, can you teach me the name, or can you teach me this, or can you teach me that? And it's gonna be too late. You're gonna tell that motherfucker where to step. That's what it's gonna get down to. You understand? And if you're so-called European, you might as well even bother, because what's gonna happen is you're going into slavery, man. Right. All right. This is your time at your end. So when you look at the way the world is right now, economically, moralistically, amongst the people, we're seeing the decline of a nation. But yet you got a group of Edomites that's calling themselves Christians, and they trying to merge in the faith of the Lord. You ain't gonna merge your ass again, man. All right. Now I use the term so-called white men because they're known as the biblical Edomites, and you got amongst our people that look like so-called Europeans. All right. But if your line goes back to the Israelites, then you can make it. But if you don't, you're going right into slavery, and this is the end of your world. All right. So you got it, brother.
You understand? So pretty much, because like I said, as the brother was saying, right now, we're in a time of fully being set in great dignity. And Esau, that's what he's about, man. He's always been about, you know, anything adverse to the scriptures. Anything that's adverse to discipline, to righteousness, to order, all right, to spirituality, all right, godliness, uprightness, cleanliness. He's the opposite to all of that, man. And right now we're living in a time where everybody's following the that manner, okay? And that's why when we come out here and we represent everything that's opposite to Esau, people like they repel it because they've been raised up in the way of Esau. And we're bringing out the way of Jacob. You understand? With the uprightness, remember I said that Jacob was a plain man. You look at the word plain, it means you know, perfect and upright. Wholesome, upright, exactly, a moral integrity, you know, ethical pureness. And that's what all these scriptures, that's what it represents. Perfection, morality, everything that Jacob naturally had as a human being. And naturally, people come around and say, what? No one cares because they're only people are wicked, man.
And you know too, and the three girls that passed on by, because we don't really care about these people out here. But the three women that passed on by, right, the three things, because they're not even women, right, but the three things that passed on by, they said they didn't care. Because really, most likely they could have been Edomites. You understand? So if you're an Edomite woman, so-called white woman, hey, just you know, just do what you gotta do, party it up, hang around with your mates, all right, get drunk to oblivion, screw as many guys as possible in the club, because that's what they do anyway. All right, when they're drunk, they'll probably screw 4 guys in the same room. That's how these devils get out. You got the wicked ones of our people, they'll get down with that shit too. And that's why I always come out here and say the same thing over and over. All right? That you're going to have the 2/3 of our own people that's going to be destroyed out here, man.
Right.
All right? Because they want to get down with these cretins. Okay? So I'm going to read this. This is Lamentations 4, verse 22. Right? Actually, verse 21. Right? Out of the Bible here. Lamentations 4 and 21. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz, and the cup also shall pass through unto thee. So what does that cup represent? That cup represents the curse that's going to bestow them. That's going to befall on them. Because right now, our people, we're under the curses right now. But gradually, those curses are coming up our people. All right? But after the curses are done away with our people, those curses are going to be smack dab on the nation of Edom. All right? These cats over here, these turkey neck cats over here, they're gonna receive the judgment, man. They're gonna be under curses real soon, and all of these other nations too. So I say, look, man, have a good jolly old time, party it up while you can, because when this society is destroyed, man, that's gonna be the end of what you call white supremacy and everything that represented them as a whole. Okay, and they know this, man. Subconsciously, they know this anyway.
They know. That's why if you see our main visitors to the camp are Edomites, man.
That's it. Biggest fans.
They're the biggest ones that come. Jake don't come up here, man. Jake gotta go. Jake has to go, man. 2/3 of our people. They obviously have a lot of our people that are in the know, but they're not trying to concern themselves with salvation. They're not trying to bring forth fruit that's meat for salvation.
Right.
They're trying to still maintain some type of hope in the world, man. No matter how much you tell them, is that they don't want to put both of their feet in the truth. They still have both their feet in the world, man. You can't serve two.
Right.
You can't serve two masters, man.
Right.
Motherfucker, fucking no
pictures, man. He said no, man. You know, these guys get them on nerves, yo.
You know what I'm saying? All right. So we're in a time of so-called prosperity and folly, because we are in a time of folly, man. Every time we start camp, you guys got them Edomites that come up behind us, get a little drunk, trying to pose in front of the camera, trying to cause some type of, commotion. Earlier we had some violent Muslims representing for the Mohammedans. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Wasn't a good
the
example.
Arabians.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the time we're living in. Right, so you have something?
Yeah, but I'm going to finish this real quick. Yeah, it says, the punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. Who is the daughter of Zion? The daughter of Zion represents the nation of people, which comes out of the line of, which is the Israelites. All right, that's the daughters of Zion. The daughters of Zion is your so-called Negroes, your so-called Latinos, and Native American Indians. That's who the daughters of Zion represent. It ain't talking about those Scumalakite bastards over there in Israeli land. It's talking about the so-called Negro that was put on cargo slave ships, man, and that's being oppressed in its modern-day revival of ancient Romanized system. All right? So it says, O daughter of Zion, he will no more carry thee away into captivity, right? And he will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom, and he will discover thy sins. So after this society is destroyed, because that's the reason why we went under captivity in the first place. Why? Because of transgression. Because we went against God's law. So when the minute we strayed from the word of God, or the laws of the Most High, that's when we went downhill. But see what the Most High is going to do. The Most High is going to inactivate the second covenant. Right? When you read about the second covenant, matter of fact, brother, if you can read that, sure. The second covenant. My bad, brother, my bad. You know, laws here. You see? Yeah, so we're going to read about the second covenant, because the reason why we went into slavery and we're under Esau's jurisdiction, because of our wrongdoing. But the Lord is going to change that around. The Most High is going to make his chosen people to be perfect and to exemplify and activate the law. We're going to get that. Go on.
Hebrews chapter 8, verse 10.
Right.
But this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel
Right.
after those days.
Right, so this is the covenant that he will make with the house of Israel after those days. So when it comes to the covenant or the covenants and the adoption of son pursuant to Romans the 9th chapter, what do we have? We have understanding of who the Lord is going to come and only save. Not that old revival of ancient Romanized Catholic Church garbage about how God loves everybody. We did exactly what the Bible is saying. What does the Bible say? The Bible only says that the children of Israel can only but be saved. All right? No other nation. No other nation could be saved but the nation of Israel. All right? Go on.
I will put my laws in their mind.
Right.
Their mind.
And that's how we're going to be a perfect nation as we were supposed to be, pursuant to Genesis chapter 27, an upright people. Not all of this club, lollygagging and rap bullshit. That ain't our culture. Our culture is the Bible. All right? That's the so-called black man's document, the Bible. All right, go on.
And write them in their hearts.
Right, and write them in their hearts. So, in other words, through the Spirit, the laws are going to be within us. So it's going to be natural for us to do what's right. That's how it's going to be in the kingdom of heaven. It's going to be natural for us to do exactly what's right. What is that thing which is right? By keeping the laws and the commandments of God, of Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua. That's what's going to happen, man. All right? So we're going to be a perfect nation, and that's going to pretty much going to prevent us from going downhill once again. Okay? That's what's going to happen. So what's going to happen is we're going to have an everlasting kingdom. Pursuant to Daniel's the 7th chapter. Go on. Somebody read what you got. Somebody give me Daniel 7.
And I will be to them a God, and they shall be to me a people.
Right, and they will be to me a people. We're going to be all in unison with the Heavenly Father. That's the way it's going to go down. We're going to be in complete unison with the Heavenly Father. Okay, there's not going to be one guy's worshiping this God, Islam, this guy's worshiping Christianity, and this guy's a Rasta. It ain't going to be none of that bullshit anymore. It's going to be, everybody's going to be in unison through the Spirit of the Lord, through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua. And that's going to be the power that's going to pretty much be the face of the earth. Okay? Islam is going to be out the back, baby. It's going to be about the Lord and His Son. That's what the commandments are going to be about. And the commandments are written so that we can use the commandments. It ain't just written just to be so you can just read it and that's it. It's written so you can put them into activation. They're the manuscript of the earth. Go on.
What's up?
Yeah, get me Daniel's where it speaks about the everlasting kingdom. Because that's why we're going to have an everlasting kingdom, an everlasting empire. Because you got these bogus Christians out there, they've been taught lies and deceit, talking about, oh, the heaven is going to be in the sky somewhere floating around. And that could be further from the truth. The kingdom of heaven is going to be established on earth. Okay, it's going to be established here on earth. All right, no one's going to die and go to heaven. Heaven is going to be established on earth. How do we know? Because we're readers of the Bible here. We read this Bible. We don't just listen to what Pastor Charlie Porkchop tells us about the scripture. We go into the Bible and we read it for ourselves, man. And not only that, we got high-level, top-level teachers that taught us this truth.
Right.
Okay, go on.
This is Daniel's 7 and 27. And the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High.
Right, who are the saints of the Most High? Israelites. That's who the saints of the Most High. Who are the Israelites? The so-called black man, the so-called Latino Native American man. That's being downtrodden in this society. Okay? That's who the Israelites are, the sons of God. Okay? That kingdom is going to be delivered unto them. Right now, we are already living in the kingdom as it is. And the kingdom is the revival of ancient Rome. Okay? This is no different from ancient Rome. When you study how ancient Rome was, and you apply what ancient Rome, so like you actually look at what's going on right now and how the people act, it's no different. Okay, in ancient Rome, you had an area called Pompeii, where they would get together and perform sexual orgies on each other, man. All right? Some guys would have sex with animals and what have you, goats. Okay, and the same kind of thing goes on right now. You got people having sex with horses, okay, and putting this shit on the internet. Okay, and then you got homosexual pornography, all kinds of pornography. The same shit was going on in ancient Rome. Because every time Esau comes into power, he brings that perversion up. So this is the revival of ancient Rome. This is a kingdom. This ain't just some place that we just live in. Oh, it's just how the world is. No. All right, but we understand that because we have a high level of intelligence. All right, the average peon don't understand what's going on. All they know is what's going on in Coronation Street, or what the next game is going to be. That's all they know. All right, but we have the high levels of understanding, and we're out here to teach our people the truth, to seal the elect. That's why we're here. Okay, and everything that I'm talking about, and everything that we've been talking about, going on almost 50 years. These higher up banking elite, they know what we're talking about, man. Okay, go on. And you know what they know. They also know that the so-called Negro that's been put on cargo slave ships is the real Jew. Go on.
It says, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom.
Right, his kingdom is an everlasting kingdom. So I thought we were just gonna be niggas. I just thought, oh, we was just gonna be knickknacks forever and ever. But as he opened the book, okay, as we open up the Bible, we find out otherwise. What do we find out? We find out the same people that are being called niggas and other names outside of who they really are the children of God. That's what we find out. And what we also find out, okay, is the same people that actually did this to our people, that have afflicted our people. We find out, according to God's word, that these same people are a bunch of devils. Okay, and it's not far-fetched to understand it. If your antenna in your brain is working, your pineal gland is, if that's working, you can clearly see who's the devil. Nobody don't gotta tell you who ain't the devil, man, or who's the devil. You know who the devil is, man. And the reason why these Negroes can't see that, because their antennas ain't working right. Their brains ain't working right. So they'll say to you, well, you gotta forgive people. You gotta forget and forgive and this and that and the third. While you're forgiving and forgetting, the same similar shit is happening in this reality right now. All right. But anyway, what I'm gonna do with this is something else. Read what you got. The everlasting kingdom. Baba Kushan.
Well, this is the last one, and it says, and all dominions shall serve and obey him.
Right, and all dominions shall serve and obey him. Who is the him that they're going to have to obey? Yahweh Shah, that is, man. A so-called black man from the tribe of Judah, to be exact. All right, they're gonna obey him, and they're gonna obey the whole house of Israel. All right, the earth is gonna be given to our people, spearheaded by Yahweh Shah, the Lord, Jesus Christ, as the world calls him. He's gonna spearhead the next world, and the whole entire world is gonna be under his jurisdiction, and the 144,000. So we're gonna be the next government around the world. That's why it tells you in the scriptures that he has a government carried on his shoulders. That government represents our people being in rulership. Okay, but Yahweh Shah, he's going to be the main head of that society, and we're going to be the supremistic race on the earth, like the so-called white men is right now. That's what the kingdom is going to entail. Go on. Oh, that's it, right? That's it. I tell you what, give me one more scripture, and I'm gonna give it back to the brother. Where it speaks about how the Lord is gonna the Lord has the government carried on his shoulders or something like that. Yeah, something like that anyway. Oh, what going rain though? Yeah, it probably won't rain too bad though, hopefully. I'll tell you what, brother.
Yeah. So that's what's gonna happen, though. When the kingdom gets set up, it's gonna be ruled by kings. All right. No woman is gonna rule. They're gonna have, all right, so-called black woman. Yeah. Or in our order. You know, trying to tell and tell her man what to do and all them things there. All right. You're gonna have the elect in authority. All right. The first fruit of all spirits in power, man, set up and governing in the correct fashion. All right. But first things first, man. First, we have to understand the times we're in right now. We're in a time where the prophets are going to be out here, all right, and testifying of what is to come, testifying of what the scriptures say we're going to be speaking about, man.
That's right, brother.
All right. So we're going to go back to that second entrance.
Right, this is 2nd Esdras 9 and 7. It says, and every one that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith whereby ye have believed shall be preserved from the said perils and shall see my salvation.
Yeah, so I found it right here, right? This is Isaiah 9 and 6. It says, for unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, the mighty power, and the everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. And that somebody is talking about who the world called Jesus Christ, Yahushua. So he has a government on his shoulders, and that government is going to be the government of Israel. That's going to be established on earth. And that government is going to be known as the House of David. That's the house and government that's going to set everything in order. All right, and in our society, in our kingdom, we're not going to have no immigration issues. You have a large amount of people from one country coming into this country. We're not going to have that in the kingdom. Because everything is going to be in complete unison and perfection, in order. Complete order. Something that Esau does not understand. All right? What do I mean by Esau? I'm talking about the so-called white man. Something that he does not understand. He doesn't understand order, perfection of order. He doesn't understand it. That's why you got individuals from all kinds of countries flocking over to Europe, because their country is economically being altered to a decline. Or if it's not that, there's missiles and bombs being dropped down, and all they want to do is escape from their own country just so they can live in peace. So everything's all out of balance. Okay, and then yet, they telling you on the TV about how, we got this medicine from the tree that can make you live longer. How the hell can one live longer in this filth, man? You understand what I'm saying? You got these buses out here, cars out here, right? Driving with petrol, but you don't need petrol to drive around. You can use water and stuff like that. Because when you actually use petrol, what it does, it harms the earth to a certain degree. And then you have those fumes as well. Because you have a lot of young children that have to suffer from the air pollution from these fucking cars, man. So that's why I say what I say. Esau does not understand order. We understand order in totality. All right? And what we also, every last one of us are going to find out is that the ways of Esau never worked out. It just never worked. All right? And the real government is going to be established in the kingdom of heaven. And that's the government of Yahushua, which will be placed and stationary on earth.
Right.
All right? And I don't mean to, I got to add something else in there too, right? It's in the kingdom of heaven. We're not going to have no women showing their asses and their vaginas for the world to see. All right? Walking around trying to show off and trying to be something they're not. We're not going to have that in the kingdom. People are going to be respectful, they're going to have morals, and they're going to have understanding. Unlike this goddamn society, man. Anyway.
Right, 2nd Esdras 9 and 8. No, let's start from 6. 2nd Esdras 9 and 6. Even so, the times also of the highest have plain beginnings in wonders and powerful works, and endings in effects and signs. And every one that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works, by faith, whereby ye have believed, shall be preserved from the said perils.
Right, so that's letting you know right there that those that show their faith by their works shall be preserved from Jacob's trouble. And that's big. So that's why we keep telling about how important it is to be out here in the highways and byways for your own salvation. If you want to make it, all right. And really, just by being delivered is a big thing. Never mind the crowns in your head and the kingdom and the throne. Just by being delivered, that's a big thing, because that shows that the Most High chose you. It signifies that the Most High chose you. That alone is the Most High acknowledged you. Of all the rest of the spirits you see around, man, driving car, fancy car, you know what I'm saying? Nice watches, living good, you know what I'm saying? Living goody good, man. Big smile upon their face, man. But the Most High chose you. Understand? To be preserved from the said perils. Why? Because you did your side of the bargain. Your side of the bargain was to go and tell the servant, they said, look, I have a feast and everybody's welcome. But you see, you, my henchmen, my servants, I want you to go out there and bid them to the feast. Bid them to the marriage. Go out there in the highways. Servant, go out there. And say, yo, marriage, man. There's gonna be feast, there's gonna be ceremony, there's gonna be banqueting, there's gonna be food. You know what I'm saying?
Supper.
It's gonna be a supper, man. It's gonna be a feast, a grand feast. And everyone's like, oh, you know what, man, I've got something to be, man.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna see if I can get that. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah.
See what I'm saying? Right? Because right now we're in the time of prophecy being spoken and being manifested in reality. See it? Alright? And we're in a time of global deception and lies and this complete ignorance and darkness, man. Right?
Yeah, this is Luke. I'm gonna read. I'm gonna start from verse. Come. And when one of them that sat at meat with him heard these things, he said unto him, blessed is he that shall eat bread in the kingdom of the Most High.
Right. So now what does it mean? So as Yahushua was talking, he had his disciples there, right? At meat, so they were eating. And one of them, he asked where certain things meant. And then Yahushua turned around and said, blessed be he that eat bread in the kingdom of the Most High. Now, when they're eating bread, that's a delicacy. Bread, or eating bread, you know what I'm saying? Right. Because in the kingdom, can everybody eat bread? No, especially if the slaves are not eating bread. The slaves are eating some nastiness. Bread, they eating the breadcrumb. Like Lazarus. Lazarus was eating bread, he was eating the crumbs that fell from the table. He was eating the shit, man, the leftover. Alright? So we're gonna be eating bread, meaning we're gonna be living a high class life. We're gonna be blessed. Blessed is he that eat bread in the kingdom. Meaning what? That we're going to be kings in that kingdom. Alright? A dominion or a domicile of the kings. Right? So it says, blessed is he that eat bread in the kingdom of the Most High. Because when you're eating bread, what you're doing, you're sitting down, you're eating a feast. You're supping. Understand? You're eating good and you're merry.